Hey there, and welcome back to Chat Like a Native.
Great to be here.
So today we're diving into something really fundamental. It's about bridging that gap, the one between the English you learn in books and how people actually talk.
Absolutely. It's something so many learners notice. They feel like, hey, I understand the words, but the conversation just flies past me.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We're going to break down why spoken English sounds so different. Think contractions, how words kind of mush together.
Those little ums and...
Yeah, and sentence fragments and even the sort of music of English.
Right. The intonation and stress.
Stick with us because getting a handle on this stuff, it'll seriously boost your listening skills and honestly make your own speaking sound way more natural. Less like reading from a script, more like, well, you.
You sound more confident, definitely. More part of the conversation.
Okay, let's jump right in. First up, contractions. Simple stuff, maybe, but so important. I am versus I'm, you have versus you've.
We use them constantly.
Yeah.
And it's mainly about, well, speed and flow, isn't it?
Totally. It just makes everything smoother. Saying, I am going to the store feels a bit clunky compared to, I'm going to the store.
It really does. It trips off the tongue easier.
Yeah.
And it signals informality, creates a more relaxed vibe. You almost never hear native speakers using the full forms in, like, casual chat.
It's like a little signal that says, hey, we're just talking here. It feels friendlier.
Precisely. So using contractions, that's a really quick win for sounding more natural. It's almost automatic for us.
Okay, so that's contractions. But then things get a bit more complex with how words actually connected speech, right?
Yes, this is the big one.
Yeah.
Spoken English isn't just word space. It flows. The end of one word often blends right into the start of the next.
You mean like a linking, that's what it's called.
Exactly. Take next evening. When we say it naturally, that sense at the end of next often connects to the E at the beginning of evening.
So it sounds more like next evening.
It becomes one smooth sound. It avoids a choppy feeling.
Okay, got it. And then there's dropping sounds too. Elision.
Yeah, elision,
Yeah.
like in hands up, sometimes that sound just disappears. We say hands up.
Why does that happen? Just laziness.
Well, maybe efficiency. It's often about making tricky sound combinations easier and faster to say. Our mouths find shortcuts.
Makes sense. And sometimes sounds actually change. Assimilation, is that it?
That's the one. Assimilation. A sound changes to become more like a neighboring sound. The classic example is Green Park.
How does that change?
Well, the N in green is right before the P in park. To make that transition smoother, the N sound sometimes shifts towards an M sound.
So it might sound a bit like Green Park.
Exactly. It's subtle, but it happens all the time. Understanding these connections, linking, elision, assimilation, it's crucial for decoding faster speech.
And probably helps you speak more smoothly yourself, I guess.
Definitely. Once you hear it, you start doing it naturally.
Okay, moving on. What about all those little pauses and filler words? Like, are they just bad habits?
Not at all. I mean, maybe if you overuse them constantly, but generally they have important jobs and are basically thinking noises.
Like hitting pause while your brain catches up?
Pretty much. It signals you're still holding the floor, just need a second. And then you have discourse markers. Well, so anyway, right?
Right, those seem to pop up everywhere. What are they actually doing?
They're like conversational traffic signals. Anyway, or so can signal, okay, changing the subject or getting back to the main point.
Okay. And something like right at the end of a sentence.
That's often checking if the listener is following or
Yeah.
maybe seeking agreement. Keeps the conversation interactive.
What about, and like? They get a bad rep sometimes.
They do, but they can be useful. Can be for checking shared knowledge or sometimes just a way to pause and can be used to, hedge a bit or to quote thoughts or speech or even just for emphasis in informal talk. It was really difficult.
So they're not just verbal clutter.
Not inherently, no. They help manage the conversation, express nuances. But, as you hinted, overuse can be distracting. It's about finding that natural balance.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, something else that breaks textbook rules. Sentence fragments.
Oh, yeah. Huge difference between writing and speaking here. We use incomplete sentences all the time.
Like if someone asks coffee, you just say, yes, please, or even just please.
Exactly. Or, ready? Almost?
Yeah.
No need for I am almost ready.
It feels way too formal otherwise. What about reactions? Seriously?
Perfect example. It conveys surprise way more effectively than saying, are you serious about that? Fragments are punchy, direct.
They add energy to the conversation.
Absolutely. They rely on context, but they make speech lively and efficient. Getting comfortable with them, both understanding and using them, is key to sounding natural.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Contractions, connected speech, fillers, fragments. What about the sound itself?
hmm
The melody, intonation, and stress?
Crucial. This is often what trips learners up the most, even if their grammar is perfect. It's the rise and fall of the voice, the emphasis on certain words.
Right, like questions often go up at the end. You're leaving, rising tone.
Exactly. That rising intonation signals a yes-no question. But if you say, you're leaving, falling tone, that's a statement. Same words, different tune, different meaning.
And stressing different words changes everything too, right?
Totally. Take a sentence like, I didn't say he stole the money.
Okay.
If you stress, I didn't say he stole the money, it implies someone else said it.
What if you stress I didn't say he stole the money.
And maybe you think someone else stole it.
And stressing I didn't say he stole the money.
Maybe you borrowed it or lost it but didn't steal it.
Wow. Just changing the emphasis completely alters the implication.
It's incredibly powerful. It conveys attitude, focus, contrast. It's why listening for the music, not just the words, is so important.
So, putting this all together, for listeners who want to, get better at hearing and using these features, what's the plan?
Active listening is step one. Really tune in when you hear native speakers. Podcasts, TV shows, YouTube, whatever.
Don't just listen for the gist, but how they're saying things.
Exactly. Listen for those contractions. Notice how words blend. Can you hear the linking or drop sounds? Pay attention to the ums and ums. Are they using fragments?
And the intonation, the stress.
Definitely. Try to notice the melody. Which words are getting the emphasis? Does the pitch rise or fall? It takes practice, but you start to notice patterns.
And then try using them yourself.
Start small. Use contractions consistently. Maybe try mimicking short phrases you hear, paying attention to the rhythm and sound. Shadowing can be really effective.
Shadowing? You mean repeating right after someone?
Yeah, listen to a short clip, then immediately try to say it exactly the same way, same speed, same rhythm, same intonation. It trains your ear and your mouth.
Great tips. Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot on Chat Like a Native today.
We really have. From contractions and connected speech to fillers, fragments, and the music of intonation.
And the big takeaway is, well, that real spoken English has its own kind of grammar, its own flow, that's often quite different from formal written English.
And understanding these features is really the key to unlocking better comprehension and sounding much more natural and confident yourself.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Think about how noticing these kind of hidden rules of spoken English doesn't just improve your technical skills. It actually opens up a deeper level of connection.
That's a good point. You start understanding not just the words, but the feeling, the attitude, the subtle cues.
Exactly. It lets you participate more fully. So next time you're listening to English, actively try to notice one or two of these things we talked about. See what difference it makes.
You might be surprised.
Thanks for tuning in for this deep dive.
See you next time.